Back on the Ballgame, NorthJerseySports.com's original multimedia series talking all things hoops across North Jersey. I am Corey Doviak, and I have some explaining to do. This was the second edition planned on our Tuesday snow day here in Bergen County. This episode was supposed to be all about the girls basketball tournaments going on across North Jersey, specifically the Bergen County Women's Coaches Association semifinals and finals. The semifinals played last weekend at Ramapo College, the final upcoming this week between Saddle River Day, the top seed and three-time defending champion, looking for its fourth straight county championship up against number 2 IHA. Now, we're going to preview that, and you will hear it. Unfortunately, our review of the semifinals was lost to the dustbin of technical difficulties on our shoestring budget at the Mickey Mouse operation that is NorthJerseySports.com. The first 14 minutes of the show included a great breakdown by both our own Richie Ballgame Barton and our North Jersey girls basketball insider, Mahwah head coach Scott Papetti. They talked all about it. The action that went on, they broke it down, why Saddle River Day was able to overcome a tough challenge from Paramus Catholic in the first quarter and then move on and pull away, and how IHA kept the pressure on Old Japan until it finally won out in that game, in the game between the number 2 and number 3 seeds. Unfortunately, that's all gone. Lost somehow, some way to technical difficulty. But I thought this show and the job done by our North Jersey basketball insiders was so good that it was important to run the second half of the show. So, you're going to get that. And it starts with Richie Ballgame talking about the upcoming Bergen County Tournament Girls Basketball Championship Final coming up this weekend at Ramapo College. Richie B breaking it down, Saddle River Day and IHA. You will also hear them touching on the Passaic County Tournament semifinals, which are coming up, Hudson County Tournament. So there's a lot of girls basketball talk here for you anyway, starting with Richie Ballgame talking Saddle River Day, IHA. Here it is.
I think really the key is going to be Jenna Jordan from Saddle River Day, because Jenna Jordan played extremely well in the final last year, matched up against Morris. And she is someone who's generally done pretty well when matched up against premier centers. If that's the case again, it's going to be hard to see Saddle River Day losing, but as we talked about, it's going to come down to pace, who takes care of the ball, and shot selection.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, yeah. Let me ask you this. Last word on the Bergen County Tournament Final. Richie B, I will ask you this one first. Michelle Sidor, the best player in the history of Bergen County girls basketball? Question mark.
Yes.
Scotty, Anna Morris, best two-sport athlete in Bergen County history? Question mark.
Ooh, two-sport. Now, refresh my memory. Ariel Scott, did she give up basketball, or she continued through and played both?
I think, good question, but I believe she
I don't remember.
I think she just played volleyball, at least at the end.
Did she?
And
okay.
Nia Reed, too.
I think she only... Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so then, yeah. I mean, because she was a tremendous basketball player, too.
Yes.
And obviously had a great college career for volleyball. But, I would say Morris.
Greatest in Bergen County history. I mean, that's...
Two-sport, I mean, again,
Morris is an absolute stud. Let's make no mistake.
Oh, I know.
There are a lot of... I mean, if we really sat down... I mean, I think with...
She was Gatorade Player of the Year for volleyball, and she's going to get big time. She's gotten D1 offers already for basketball, and she's going to be playing basketball in college. So that's,
She could play either sport at the high major level in college. She's the best two-sport athlete I can remember. I'm not saying she's the best basketball player or the best volleyball player.
I'll give you another IHA name out there, Tara Schwitter. Remember her?
Yeah.
Probably 30.
Soccer.
Jeez,
soccer and the point guard, right?
Yeah, she played soccer at Miami. She was all-state soccer.
And Richie, here, I'll throw you one. Samantha Depkin from Ramapo.
Another one.
She was a three-sport athlete.
Yeah, she was a sick three-sport athlete. Yeah,
she was awesome.
Yeah, we could do this all night. I mean,
that's a good one. That's a good one to start up, though.
Yes.
I think Cedar being, I mean, everyone's going to say, well, Aunt Donovan, but I think Aunt Donovan was bigger and more skilled at a time where not as many, there weren't as many basketball players playing basketball as opposed to just, girls who were athletic.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, let me play devil's advocate.
I think also Cedar being a guard, too, is also a huge thing.
True. All right,
let me play devil's advocate. Yep. Playing with three other Division I players over her career, and then obviously some other players that she played when she was younger, does that lead to her being as good as she is?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely does. I mean, the game has,
right.
And not just the game of basketball, the game of high school sports has changed so much, especially since Title IX on the female side. All changes 100% for the better. I mean, there's more participation, there's more competition, there's more outlets, there's more everything available to female athletes nowadays. So, I remember having this conversation with Paul Heenahan, the Ramapo soccer coach, who basically started girls soccer in Bergen County, and he would talk about the way it has evolved from not even having uniforms to now having 3 different sets of cleats per game, depending on. So all of those things have changed. I mean, but the modern day female athlete is I think is better than the previous one, just because of more opportunities available, more training, more emphasis on it, and everything else. So there were great natural athletes back in the day, but those natural athletes now are getting more.
Yeah, of course.
I believe. Yep. So, yeah. So I would say I would put Anna Morris up there with Sam Depkin as the pick 2 sports and say and obviously Michelle Cedar, when you score 3,000 points in high school, it's hard to argue against the fact that you're the best one to come through. So, and she's think about what she's done to now you're like, oh, Saddle River Day, state power, 3-time county champion going for number 4. I mean, what was Saddle River Day before Michelle Cedar got there, Richie?
1-21.
I mean,
to
be fair, when Day took over the program and Izzy McMahon transferred in, that is really when the program started to build.
Right.
Izzy McMahon was kind of the cornerstone, and she was a heck of a player in her own right.
Our Saddle River Day historian, Richie Ballgame Barton. Well, Richie, what day did Izzy McMahon first step in the gym? What was the date and what day of the week was it? What time?
It's funny you mentioned that because
jeez.
All right, let's talk a couple other things going on here around North Jersey. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. A, because it's a secondary tournament, and B, because Scotty got knocked out of it in the quarterfinals. So, but I do want to. The girls' Bergen Invitational Tournament is going to play its Final Four, and it's Pascack Hills against Midland Park on one side of the bracket, Teaneck against Holy Angels on the other side of the bracket, and Scotty, you just played in it. What do you think of the tournament? I know on the boys' side, I've covered the boys' BIT, and I really love it. How about from the girls' perspective?
Everyone that I've spoken to, coach-wise, obviously being a part of it, everyone's loved it. And, when you take a look at the final 8 that were involved in the tournament on our side, I mean, a lot of those teams, so us, Midland Park, you had Dumont, Holy Angels, you had Teaneck, Tenafly, and Pascack Hills, Fairlawn. Every one of those teams in years past have all been county tournament teams.
Yep.
And, all competing at a pretty high level. So, from my aspect of it, I mean, I think its first year has been tremendous. I wish we were still playing in it, but, I think that the better teams right now that are playing at that level deserve to be where they're at. And, it should be a good Final Four. It really should.
On the boys' side, Joe Del Buono is quick to point it out all the time, too. And Joe Del Buono is the one who came up with the concept of having a secondary tournament in Bergen County for the boys, and he's run the BIT for 9 years, done a great job.
Yep.
But he, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but teams that play in the BIT on the boys' side and make runs prepare themselves well for next year. Demarest 2 years ago was a BIT team. Demarest 2 years ago started 0-8, came back to win the BIT, and 2 years ago, and then last year wins North 1 Group 3 state sectional.
Yeah.
St. Joe's, I believe, was in the BIT last year, won the BIT last season, and is now in the Bergen County Jamboree Final Four. So there is a correlation of getting your kids to play in these, tournament situations. Who cares what the tournament is, or what you're really playing for?
Exactly.
You're playing under pressure, and if you have a young team, that really helps. It really does.
Listen, this past weekend, we got seeded and won, whatever. We started out pretty well and then kind of fallen off a little bit. But, and our first round game, or not really our first round, it was the second round because we had a bye, but it was still going to be it was supposed to be at our game, at our gym, but we had a floor issue. But anyway, I wanted to get to this past weekend because now you're playing in a county tournament. You get there, there's two teams playing before you, there's teams coming in playing after you, there's different people watching you play. That's, to me, what it's all about. Like you said,
right?
Doesn't matter what tournament you're in, right? Last year we played in a cancer awareness tournament in Teaneck, and I really believe that playing in that prepared us for playing in better games later in the season. So all that stuff is something that, as a coach, you want to prepare your team for in the future. Myself, especially the fact that we have no seniors, so we have a whole group coming back, that, we want to be able to be, say, a top 16 team next year, and someone that can, maybe do something a little bit more than what we did this year and just be a BIT team. But listen, the tournament, any coach wants to play in meaningful games. And I've always said it. I've been a big advocate of it. Like, it's funny, when we played Woodridge, it was, I don't know how many years ago this was, myself, Dave Moscone, and Michael Gallen met at Dunkin' Donuts in River Edge talking about this very thing. And Dave made a joke with me talking. He goes, they should really name this tournament after us because we talked about this. It was like 5-6 years ago, But, I've said it since day one. Going on the road and playing, playing in IHA, playing in Saturday Day in the first round, or whatever that is, that's not a county tournament environment. You don't
it
want
doesn't do anything
that,
for you.
Right?
It doesn't do.
No, it doesn't do anything.
In fact, you got to pick up your kids after you get on the bus after taking a 30-point loss. It's not that bad. We're getting better. You just don't say blah blah blah.
Yep.
Instead, you see positive results, and you win a couple of games in a tournament, and it's a lot easier to get it moving forward when that happens.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, listen. We ended up not playing great in the first half in our game the other day. And I challenged the girls, and at halftime I said, listen, girls, just make this a game. Make them earn the fact that, and you know what? We battled them and made them earn it, and, we ended up losing by 10, but it was exciting, and in an exciting environment where teams watching you and other people, that's all you can ask for. That's what you want as a coach, that's what you want for your program, and that's, hopefully it started something good for girls basketball in Bergen County because it's been a long time coming. It really has.
I've talked to Joe Delbuno on the boys' side about, get a red, white, and blue ball like the old ABA. Bring the DJ in.
Sure.
And really make it feel like, I don't want to say AAU tournament because it's survive and advance, but. That festival atmosphere that these kids grow up playing in now, where they, 5 games in a day and same gym and really make it, special and fun. And I think Joe's done a great job. I haven't covered any of the girls' BIT, so that's why I asked you. I don't know what's going on there. But I know on the boys' side, that tournament has taken on a life of its own. And it's always fun to go see the final. All right. Last couple of things I want to touch on here. Passaic County tournament. Richie, you've done such yeoman's effort tonight. So I'll start with the side that you know better. Kennedy against Wayne Valley, one half of the Passaic County Final Four.
Yeah, it's a rematch of last year's semifinal, also played at Kennedy, with mainly most of the same players from both teams back. That's going to be an interesting battle because you have two of Passaic County's premier bigs, and Brianna Neary from Wayne Valley and Jamira Johnson of Kennedy, who was just a rebounding machine. But Neary got the better of her last year. She totally outplayed her, and Johnson only had 2 points, and it was Wayne Valley who ended up moving on and ended up eventually winning the title. Tanisha Gilbert is one of the premier scorers for Kennedy. She's one of the premier scorers in North Jersey. I think the key is going to be with Wayne Valley. They have a Swiss Army knife-like point guard, Stephanie Ogreca, who I don't know how many double-digit scoring games she has, but if you ever look at a box score, she'll end up with 8 points, 7 assists, 5 steals, 4 assists, 2 blocks, that kind of line. She does a little bit of everything. And the return of Carson Thomas, a sharpshooting 2 guard for them. If she can be a factor, I think Wayne Valley has the edge. But it's going to come down to, for Kennedy, it's Gilbert and Johnson. It's happened all year. When they play well, Kennedy wins. And they're going to have a chip on their shoulder, especially after not putting their best foot forward last year. So it's going to be really interesting. I give Kennedy the edge. I mean, I think Gilbert is for real, and we'll see how they do. If they can make it up tempo, they're going to win. If Wayne Valley can slow it down, it's their game to win. The other semifinal, Lakeland DePaul. Scotty, you've seen both teams. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, listen, we played both. We played both in their gym. Listen, I'm going to say we didn't get a chance to play Lakeland last year, but we did play DePaul. And I will tell you one thing: this team is probably one of the most improved teams in North Jersey from one year to the next. Last year we played them, and we played them early on, but following throughout the year, they just didn't seem to click and didn't seem to get things going at much. But they had the majority of the team back. The girl, I can't remember her first name, but Gonzalez, their best player, she's a senior, and they get after it now. They really defend. They defend well. They defend the guards real well. They defend the perimeter excellent. Very physical. I was so impressed with the difference from them one year to the next. Now we play Lakeland, and Kira Marks is phenomenal. She's 1,000 more scores as a junior.
Yeah, another great multi-sport athlete.
Oh my God, obviously I read about her prior to playing them, but seeing her up close, such a strong athlete. I mean, up and down the floor, in your face defensively, offensively, going to the basket hard, shooter. And then they got the big girl, McBride. They're tough. They're very tough. I think the difference in that game is going to be they have a freshman point guard, and a couple other guards, other players that kind of have to do what they can to if they try to take away Marks and the big kid. Because DePaul does defend the perimeter pretty well, and if they can handle the pressure on the perimeter, I think Lakeland will be too much inside for them, and just with Marks she'll be the best player on the floor. But the big key is going to be whether or not they can handle the perimeter ball pressure, because DePaul does defend really well on the perimeter. But I'm going to say Lakeland's going to come out on top because of Marks.
They played earlier this year to a 2-point game, and it was close the whole way. So DePaul definitely has more than a.
DePaul's done. I'm telling you, they've done. Like I said, I was obviously unpleasantly shocked at how much better they got, because we had to play them, and we played them even for half. But then the second half, their pressure just wore us down, and that's when we were at full strength. And it was. Again, they're very physical, their guards are very unassuming too, some of these other kids. And you look at them and they're right in your face, they're in your pocket the whole game playing man. So it should be a good one. I think that'll be a very, very good game.
I haven't covered a DePaul girls basketball game, I don't think, since like 2002. So I don't think any.
You're not. See, you make fun of me, but you're not like me on the beat. Around at these schools.
Yeah, that's the ball game. That's the ball games.
That's what they call the ball game.
Yeah.
But I'll say this about.
When was the last time you covered a girls' basketball game there, DePaul girls' basketball game there, Ballgame?
Probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Sure.
Listen, I'm the curator. I'm the curator. I have access to the archives. I could find out that answer.
Yeah. Yes. Well, they've had a couple of lean years, but they're coming back now, and I will be there on Saturday. But I'll tell you this about Lakeland. Out of all the boys and girls basketball teams I've seen this year, nobody runs and executes better on out-of-bounds plays than Lakeland does.
That's coaching.
I mean, that's coach and Brian Phillips doing a nice job there, and getting key baskets and getting the line off of those plays, I think is going to be the difference.
All right, we're running long here, Richie B. A couple words about Hudson County. What's going on down there?
Going to be a great Final Four. Assuming they're still in the tournament, but if the top 4 seats make it, which I think it's clear top 4. Sea Caucus against Lincoln, great backcourt. Sea Caucus, Amanda Ulrich, who just scored 2,000 point, and Damaris Rodriguez, super athletic point guard. But Lincoln's going to be tough. Denia Darby is probably the most physical inside player in North Jersey. I mean, she is tough to handle down low, and that's going to be, again, contrasting styles. Alicia Mumford, also from Lincoln, a solid guard. On the other side of the bracket, you got Hudson Catholic, who's really emerged as one of the, I wouldn't even say a surprise team because they're good, but I mean they are deep and super athletic. But Bayonne is another team that is very, very physical, and they've got size. So, but I got the two teams with the more size inside going through. I got Lincoln going through, playing Bayonne.
Scotty, do you have anything to add to that? Because I certainly don't.
I have nothing to add other than the fact that I know Sea Caucus. I know those kids, the 2 guards he was talking about. I've seen them. Not this year, obviously, and John Sterling's, his teams have been tremendous. But I have heard that Lincoln is unbelievable. So that's the only thing I've heard of that side. That's it. Case closed. Hudson County is different animal. So
different animal, absolutely. Although I was that, I saw Amanda Ulrich score her 2,000th point last week. It was fun. I haven't been down that way in a long time, so that was fun for me. And yes, Richie B, that backcourt is very talented for Sea Caucus, and Damaris is already over 1,000 points for her career. She's just a junior, so they got 3,000 points running around in their backcourt too, coached by John Sterling. But my knowledge of Hudson County girls basketball is a little bit lacking, so that might be the perfect place to cut it off here for this evening. We will be all over it. Richie B just said he's going to be looking at those Passaic County games on Saturday. He is the in-house reporter for the Bergen County girls basketball tournament, so he will be there on Sunday while I'm at the Jambo. We will gather all the facts like Richie B did here tonight, and we will talk all about it. We will see you next week on The Ballgame.
Follow the leader.